Is there anything better than Kevin Harlan calling a game-winning fadeaway jumper from the right side of the floor?
Murray makes a move. Goes on. The Nuggets have won!
Jamal Murray made a shot.
If there is one thing better than that moment right there, it's Mike Breen saying bang, not once, but twice.
DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a 1-point lead!
And that, ladies and gentlemen, all happened in the space of just a few hours, where we witnessed the greatest doubleheader of playoff games you will see in a long, long time.
I've been here over, I think, 24 years. Best doubleheader ever.
And Chuck isn't lying, because at one point in both of these games, the Denver Nuggets and New York Knicks had a 5% chance and 10% chance at winning their respective games, going on to win both games in the most remarkable fashion, much to the chagrin of LeBron James and Joel Embiid.
And then I just saw what happened with the Sixers-Knicks game too. What are we doing?
Unacceptable. You know, we just had the same thing happen against Miami with Tyler Hero. That's just unacceptable to, put us in that situation. That's unacceptable.
And it's funny what the playoffs can do, because the individual who gets arguably the most favorable whistle in the NBA and the team that definitely statistically gets the most favorable whistle in the NBA both thought they were unfairly treated by the referees. And you could argue during these two games they might have had an unfortunate whistle, but you can't argue what the Knicks and Nuggets did to stage incredible comebacks. Let's take it back to late in the fourth quarter of the Knicks and Sixers game. With just over 2 minutes remaining, it looked like Tyrese Maxey was going to be the hero for Philly. Him and Embiid run their patented two-man game that had been cooking the Knicks all game long. And with OG doing well to stay attached, Maxey gives it back to Embiid, receiving a second screen, and that's pretty much impossible to guard. But it was a minute later when Maxey hit what looked like a dagger of a shot.
Maxey for three.
And things got worse for the Knicks when, after failing to capitalize on multiple offensive rebounds, they sent Kyle Lowry to the line for what looked like potentially game-sealing free throws. But in true Sixers fashion, he split the pair. And what unfolded from there could be a video in itself, because to say it was mayhem would be an understatement. The chaos starts with 40 seconds remaining. Jalen Brunson, who had struggled all night shooting the ball, finishing 8 for 29, well, he dribbled the ball off Josh Hart's leg, with DiVincenzo then managing to secure the loose ball from the scramble before then drawing the defense and kicking it out to Brunson, who had relocated. And just look at the sidestep three. For anyone who has played or watched basketball, that kind of bounce on that kind of shot is so unlikely, it's ridiculous. But things only got worse for Philly, because after failing to call a timeout on the inbound, Maxey is thrown a grenade, which he loses, and this is where Nick Nurse and Joel Embiid say the refs got it wrong, because there is a split second where Nurse is calling the timeout while Maxey has the ball. But the ref plays on, and as a neutral, I'm glad he did, because after Hart secures the ball, he kicks it out to DiVincenzo, whose missed three is inexplicably recovered by a Hartenstein offensive rebound, kicking it to OG, who kicked it back to DiVincenzo. And yeah, but lost in all of this madness was potentially the best play of all of this. With 12 seconds remaining, Tyrese Maxey, probably the fastest player in the NBA, gets a full head of steam against Isaiah Hartenstein, who is backtracking, yet he manages to shift his hips before doing this. The DiVincenzo 3 will steal the headlines, but easily the two most impressive plays all game came from Isaiah Hartenstein on the block and the offensive rebounds. Now, if you thought that game was crazy, the NBA scriptwriters had something even better in store. Unlike the Philly-New York game, this was not a back and forth game, at least not in the first half, because for a team that has been untouchable over their last 20 playoff games, Denver were embarrassed by the Lakers in the opening half, with Anthony Davis playing out of his mind, scoring 24 points and shooting 9 of 10 in the first half. And they weren't just any buckets. He was hitting fadeaway middies, threes, spinning hook shots. He brought out the entire repertoire. Meanwhile, the best duo in the NBA, Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, did not come to play. But for anyone who has watched Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, both of them playing a bad half is almost impossible. Both of them playing a bad full game, that is yet to be seen. And the Lakers found that out for the millionth time. Because Jokic did what he always does, which is drop a 27, 20, and 10 game. Which, by the way, 4 other players in NBA history have had a 20, 20, 10 playoff game. Nikola Jokic has 4 of them, and he is now averaging 30 points, 16 rebounds, and 9 assists on 60, 40, 90 splits for the series. But that's neither here nor there, because what really mattered was who stepped up when the game was in the balance. Actually, it wasn't even in the balance, when the game looked out of reach. And one of those players was, of course, Nikola Jokic. The other was Jamal Murray. Because after going 3 for 16, you heard me, 3 for 16 in the first 3 quarters, he scored 14 points on 8 shots in the last quarter. And what makes these two guys so impossible to guard is they both demand so much attention. Like here where Jokic sets the screen for Murray, which he snakes around, and watch him freeze AD with the threat of kicking it out to Jokic for 3, which allows him to get a lane straight to the rim. But it was the final 2 shots of the game that were the perfect encapsulation of what playoff Murray can do. Just look at him here get the switch onto LeBron. And one thing you know about Jamal Murray is he is always gonna create separation on his jump shots. Just ask Anthony Davis. And if there is one thing Jokic brings that not many other players bring, well, apart from the 30 points, 20 rebounds, and 15 assists that he puts up every single night, apart from doing that, it's his on-court coaching. Just watch the game-winning Murray shot back, and watch as Jokic signals to KCP to clear out from the right side of the floor to the left, opening up the floor for Murray to work. And this is only a small example, but we've seen it for years. Just think back a couple of years when Jokic called out the Golden State Warriors' attempted game-winning shot in real time, helping the Nuggets get the stop. But lost in the madness of the game-winning shot was the actual craziest sequence from the Nuggets-Lakers game. With 1 minute 30 remaining in the game, LeBron James took the assignment of guarding Nikola Jokic, and with the screen set, he switched onto Murray, intercepting the pocket pass before bulldozing his way to the rim. But that wasn't the play I wanted to talk about. Off the inbounds, the Nuggets quickly push the pace, and watch here as D'Angelo Russell dives at Jokic, who tries to sell the foul call, which ends in a near disastrous play if it isn't for Aaron Gordon ripping the ball out of the sky before toe-tapping the sideline, keeping his feet inbounds, and finding Michael Porter Jr. for a 3. And this is what makes the Nuggets so hard to beat. You have an unstoppable duo surrounded by truly elite role players. Now, if you want to hear me talk more about the Nuggets and all things playoffs throughout the next few months, consider subscribing. It's free. Either way, have a nice day. Bye.